Second time's the charm, right? All right. Let's get everybody a chance to get in here. Okay, as we are broadcasting, as we're here, we're broadcasting live on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope Live, and to our friends at IGTV, Instagram Live. Good Monday. Woo. Good Saturday morning. Hey, Michael, I see you there. Just 1 second here. Oh, just a little bit more. There we go. I think we can put that right there. Hey, good morning, Junior Romo. My friend and my brother in the great state of Texas. Well, let's get started here this morning. Set this over here and get a couple other things here straight. As you all are sharing the broadcast, I trust. Right? You know, when you come in here, you share. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Columbus, Ohio. The sun is shining bright quite early this morning. And that means all that means is it's going to be a good day. Okay? Well, let's get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A very pleasant, good Saturday morning to you, everyone. Hi, my name is Pastor Charles Williams, and I'm the founder and the creator of the concept known and used all over the world today as the Amber Alert here in the United States of America, Amber Alert EU throughout all of Europe, and the Child Rescue Alert in other parts of the world. And this is a very special broadcast. Overnight, a lot of stuff broke while you were asleep. A lot of stuff broke concerning America's children. We have several cases to look at and to discuss. As like I said, a lot of things took place. We had a situation out of West Virginia, an Amber Alert out of West Virginia that was resolved overnight. It initially happened out of West Virginia. They issued the alert for West Virginia and for Arizona. We do have an update on that particular case, as well as another case out of Colorado, and I think a couple other cases as well. So get your favorite beverage and let's sit down and let's talk all things Amber right here on the Amber News Network. All right. Let's start with this breaking news overnight out of West Virginia for little Graceland. I think her last name is Scritchfield. Little Graceland Scritchfield. This is her right here. Little cutie. Okay. There you are for those of y'all on YouTube. Okay. And for those of y'all on Facebook, right there. That's little Graceland Scritchfield. Those of y'all on Periscope, here she is right here. Little Graceland Scritchfield. And on IGTV, here you are. I'm not going to leave you out my IG ears out. Little Graceland Scritchfield. Her story goes a little something like this. Back in early July, authorities, this girl has been missing since like the early parts of July. And authorities did not request or issue an Amber Alert until last week. I think it was like last Wednesday or last Thursday. Not this past Thursday, but Thursday before last. It was at that point that they issued the alert. We came on, we asked you all to share the broadcast. At that time, we had two. Well, I think we had maybe one or two other cases that we were working at that moment, and we ask y'all to please share her story. Again, authorities sat on this for a minute. Okay, they sat on this for a good little while, and then when they decided to issue the Amber Alert, here we are, basically a week later, and we have results. Result in that case is that though she went missing out of West Virginia, um, she was abducted by her non-custodial father. And see, these non-custodial fathers, they will do this. Okay, they will take, and because they don't want the mother to have the child, they'll take and snatch the child and run clean across country. Okay, and that's what this individual did. Even though he was the father of this child, he took the child. He was the non-custodial father of the child. He snatched this child up, ran across country with this girl. Last night, it was reported, yesterday rather, it was reported that she was found in Pecos, Texas. That's probably probably better than 1,200 miles away from where she was taken. Okay? Authorities found him and they found her. Thankfully, they found her safe. Okay? Again, they were found in Pecos, Texas, thanks to a tip that was called in. I don't know who or where, or I don't want to get into the specifics of where authorities got that tip from. But it is believed that that a viewer to one of the cable television shows called Live PD, is my understanding, um, called in a tip that led authorities to where little Graceland was. Acting upon that tip, authorities went and they um, they found little Graceland, and they took the suspect into custody. Okay, so that's your update. That broke. Well, we got that information late last night. This actually happened up in the day on yesterday. But again, the good news is that that little sweetheart, Graceland Scritchfield, she has been found, and she has been found safe. And that particular Amber Alert out of West Virginia and Arizona has been canceled, and we're thankful to God that that she was found, and that she was found safe. Again, she was found out of Pecos, Texas. I'm going to read to you what the release says concerning her. It says an Amber Alert was issued in July for a missing 4-year-old girl believed to be in extreme danger has been canceled after she was located safely. West Virginia State Police says that Graceland Scritchfield was last seen in Fairmont, West Virginia, and they said that Thursday she was found safe. They said Thursday she was found safe in Texas. Okay, authorities said that she was taken by her biological father, Arlie Edward Hetrick, also known as Trey, and he was arrested when Graceland was recovered. Okay, so that's the 411 on on that particular Amber Alert. Then on last night again, while many of us slumbered and slept, okay, there was another alert that was in place and that was resolved while many of us slumbered and slept on last night as well. For a 14-year-old girl out of Lincoln, Colorado. Okay, and here she is here, Camille Icano, I believe this is. Okay, she was. I'm sorry, this Amber Alert was out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, she was missing out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Um, Here she is right here, Camille Icano, Okay, here you are on Facebook. Okay, this there was an alert that was put up for her on last evening. Okay, okay, and there we go. Okay, and the good news, we have good news here on that as well. This 14-year-old, okay, this 14-year-old that was missing out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Let me get my tablet here right. We're getting some. Uh, you ever just had one of those mornings that you want things to work right? Here we go. Okay, so she was missing out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Here's what the official release says. Um, says the Amber Alert issued Friday night, which this just happened last night while a lot of us slumbered and slept. The Amber Alert issued Friday night for Camille uh, El Lacano has been canceled. Lincoln police posted early Saturday morning, just hours ago, early Saturday morning, that Camille was located safely, and that she said, "Thank you to everyone who helped quickly spread this information across the country. We will continue gathering all the facts and provide details soon, but she is safe." And the official release from the Lincoln police said that she has been safely located. And again, they wanted to thank everyone who was up uh, during the late night hours who shared the information. And see, that underscores another thing why information sharing is so important. You know, police departments across the country now view information sharing as a vital tool in helping to find America's children. They really, really do. And the reason for that is because it works. Whether you're watching the Amber News Network that you're watching right now, or you watch Live PD, and they have a little segment where they will highlight one missing child or whatever. Doesn't matter how you watch it or how you get the information, but when you get that information, just kind of jot it down, because you don't know. You might not be behind somebody, or that person might not be in front of you right now. But as the day goes on, okay, as the day continues to unfold, you may find yourself being a critical piece or critical part to an active Amber Alert that is going on. So again, the Lincoln, Nebraska police wanted to say thank you for helping to get the information out quickly about 14-year-old Camille. Okay, then um, there was another alert. Let's pull this one up. There was another alert out of Missouri. Okay, another alert out of Missouri, and this one, let's see here. This one was put out yesterday morning around 10:30. Okay, um, says generated. An Amber Alert generated this afternoon was canceled after a pregnant mother and her child were found safe. Okay, the pregnant mother and her child, right here. Let me pull them up. Okay, now there are some back and forth on this one as to exactly what went on, and authorities are yet working to find out exactly what was going on with this case out of Missouri. But again, an Amber Alert was issued. An Amber Alert was issued for this pregnant mother, this mother and her child. Okay, and let's see here what it says here. Okay, the Amber Alert stated that Allison Summerfold, 22 years of age, um, 22-year-old pregnant woman, and her son Dominic, whom I just showed you, and another boy who was 10 to 11 months old were abducted at gunpoint from her residence there in Missouri. So the good news in that case is that they too have been found. Okay, they have been found. They have been found safe, and authorities are yet doing some police work, good old-fashioned police work, to find out exactly what find out exactly what took place concerning that particular Amber Alert. So again, the good news there is that she has been found, the child has been found, and um, everything seems to button up. Everything seems to button up well there in Missouri. So there are your updates to your three Amber Alerts: the one out of West Virginia, the one out of Missouri, and the other one which was out of Lincoln, Nebraska. It was a busy night last night, but the good news is that um, we are 3 for 3 in the activities of the Amber Alert on yesterday. I want to send a shout out and a welcome to our friends and our followers, those of you all who watch us on the Amber News Network, who also watch us on the Live PD uh, family, okay? Family of networks. We share our information with Live PD, and many of y'all didn't know that, but we do. We share our information with Live PD, and when we were watching last night, it just made our heart glad to see that 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 child in Texas was found in response to a tip to the local authorities in response to watching the Live PD broadcast. It's a great show. Dan Abrams and others are doing a great job there, and just keep it up, man. Ride this ship as long as it's sailing, man. Okay. All right. So God bless. Listen, a lot of y'all are getting ready. Okay, let's talk back to school here for a moment. Okay, a lot of y'all are getting ready to send your kids back to school, and want to make sure that I think the biggest thing that I need to share with you concerning sending your kids back to school, okay, is this. Please make sure, okay, please make sure that the information is right. Now is a good time. We still got about a week or so before kids go back to school, but now is a very good time to discuss between you, and if y'all have joint custody of a child, now is a great time to make that decision as to who is going to be on the approved list to pick up your child from school in the event of an emergency. Now is a great time to start having that conversation, because sad to say, down through the years, we have had cases where people who were the non-custodial parents but were the biological parents went into the school because they were the biological parent. They would go into the school and take a child while the other parent was still at work. And when the custodial parent came to pick up the child from school, I mean, that other parent had taken the child and they were hours away, hours away. So again, I want y'all to start having that conversation as to who is supposed to, pick up your child from school, or even pick up your child from daycare. Okay, had a situation just last week where a non-custodial mother went to a daycare and snatched her biological child that she was not supposed to be in the company of. and she now sits in jail today because the Amber Alert was issued, and they found her. But again, um, that's what that's it's always good to update. It's always good to update those records. I would say every couple of months, or if a change happens in between that time, do it before then. Okay, but it's always good to do that. That helps to keep kids safe and everything else. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is to my child safety advocates. If you're not a child safety advocate, please consider being one. Okay, it's one of the most rewarding and gratifying feelings that a person will ever have, especially when a child is found like these were today. They were found safe. But I want to share this. If you are distributing a poster, or if you are asked to put together a poster on behalf of a child, okay? Because a lot of times, here's the deal. A lot of times when a child goes missing in a family, they don't have the calmness to sit down and put together and draft the poster. Okay, their emotions are all over the board. So oftentimes, a second or third party will have to come in and put together a flyer on behalf of the family of the missing child. When you're putting together that flyer, please do not put the child's birthday. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Do not put the child's birthday. It's okay to put the child's age, but their date of birth is not important. It is not essential to the finding of a child. I mean, what are you going to do? You see a child that looks like a child, you're going to ask a child who can't even talk what their birthday is? I mean, come on. I mean, come on, man. I mean, okay, so you don't really want to put the DOB, the date of birth of the child. That's for police information. Okay, that's their information. That's for them. The only information that needs to be on a flyer is the picture, what the child was last seen known wearing, uh, a sense of direction. You can put their age on there, but things like where they were missing from, the address of their house. Now everybody has their address as to what was going on and so forth. But the reason I say that, when you put a person's address, you put their date of birth on a flyer, which I'm encouraging people not to do. But when you do that, you open up a whole Pandora's box for scam artists. Okay, people who steal identity thefts, people who steal other people's identity. All they need, really, all they really need is a date of birth, an address, and maybe an accurate race or whatever. That's just enough information to ruin somebody's credit. Okay, so I just want to put that out there and encourage. I want to put that out there, and I want to encourage my child safety advocates to please don't put the DOBs, the date of births, out there, because there have been situations where uh, after a child has been found, later on they found out that somebody had used their information and had totally destroyed their credit. And so that certainly can happen. And so we want to make sure that if you're going to be a child safety advocate, be a responsible child safety advocate, and let's do the things right and proper that needs to be done. And the other thing, on drafting a flyer, putting a flyer together, okay, a lot of times families want to take matters into their own hand. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get that. But here's the thing. um I have seen some flyers. Okay, why do children run away from home? That's a great question, and I'm going to talk about that. um One of the other thing you don't want to do is to let's see here, is to put a personal phone number on a flyer. A lot of times people People will say, you know what, listen, if you've seen this child missing, call me, call my number. No, no, never, ever. If you get a flyer with a personal phone number, do not share it. Okay. Here's why. This year, there have been situations that have arisen from the fact that people have put phone numbers, put their personal phone numbers on there. And again, scam artists will call them up. Hey, Brother John, Pastor John Deadly. Scam artists will call people. Okay. Scam artists will call people and tell them that they have information about their child when in fact they do not. They'll tell them to take and put money on a green dot card or some other way of extracting money from them. And all along, they have nothing at all concerning the kid. And so this is why I will not share a flyer, or I will not share a family's personal information. The only phone number that needs to be on a flyer is a phone number, a phone contact number to the local police department. Okay. So I just want to educate and just share some things with you. One of my viewers here on Periscope just asked, why do children run away? Hey, Pastor Jay. We updating with three. We had three updates, Pastor John Deadly out of Dallas, Texas on Facebook. We had three updates, but here's the last thing I wanted to share. Why do people run away? Why do kids run away? And it's really something that you really need to talk about. Some children, and I've been in some of these apartments, in some of these homes, you would be shocked at the way some of these kids live. You go into some of their homes and it just rips your heart out. You'd be like, how can anybody live in such a this or that? And so, yes, we're out, we're looking for kids, we're trying to find kids and so forth. But a lot of times, counseling is needed to be given to the parents. Sometimes kids run away because, you know what, believe it or not, sometimes kids run away because there's no food at home. Sometimes kids run away because, mama has got a different boyfriend. Mama's had 3 boyfriends in the last month coming to the house and spending the night, and believe it or not, sometimes a kid can get fed up with that kind of mess. Okay. And a kid will even say, you know what, if they live close to Grammy or grandma or grandpa, they'd rather go and live with the grandma or grandpa than to stay and live in filth and lack and poverty and all of that. So yes, all of that plays into it. Okay. So that's a great question, but that is one of the reasons that kids do run away. Okay. Now we're talking about those who run away. We're not talking about those who are abducted. Okay. But yes, I have been in some places. I have been into some places where I've seen kids literally. Okay, me. I've been in some places where I've seen kids whose mothers were strung out on drugs. I've been into some places where the kid was curled up like a ball in the closet. And when they saw us, they said, can I go with you? Can I go with y'all? I'll never forget this little girl's words. She says, I'll be a good girl. I promise you, I'll be a good girl. Can I go home with y'all? Okay. And she wanted to go with us because her mom was strung out on drugs. Okay. We've seen that. That's just one situation, but yeah, we have seen situations to where, yeah, we found the kid, but we got to release them back into such an environment. This is why at the Amber News Network, we do offer counseling and guidance to the families, okay? To the families whom we do return the children back to. I have a good friend in Fort Worth, Texas, missionary Carol Cobb. She brought this to to my attention. Carol Cobb Strickland, and she brought this to my attention. Drugs do wreck families. She brought this to my attention a couple of years ago. She said, "We are finding these babies, but who is uh, providing counseling? There are churches like there's a pastor watching right now, Pastor John Daly out of Dallas, Texas. There are listen, it really does take a village. Now, God has gifted me with the abilities and the talents to galvanize people with this idea of the Amber Alert to help find the children. But if you are a counselor, you are a pastor, or you have women in your church who can counsel young women who need a little help in knowing how to raise their children properly, need to get in contact with me, and I'll put your name on a list of counselors that we will recommend. You don't have to travel. We'll put you in contact with a lot of the survivors of Amber Alerts. We'll put you in contact with them, and you can make that initial contact, because here's the deal: once a child is returned back to their family, that's not the real end of the Amber Alert. That's just the fact that they were lost. Okay, but once a child has been reunited with their family in response to an Amber Alert, that's just the beginning of the work that needs to be done. There may be months of counseling that needs to be done. What else needs to be done is discover, why did this happen? What's going on between you and your spouse, or you and the child, or whatever? So just a number of things that we do here at the Amber News Network behind the scenes. Being on camera is just one part. It's just one part, okay? But there is a lot that is available, a lot of services that we do offer to families after they do receive their child back. Like these three families today that received their families back overnight, okay? These three families, uh, if they listen, all you have to do is message me that you believe that counseling is needed. And if you message us and let us know that counseling is needed, I will put you in touch with our approved list of spiritual counselors to help make the transitioning back into the home a smooth transition. My name is Pastor Charles Williams, and I'm the founder and the creator of the concept known and used all over the world on this day as the Amber Alert here in the United States of America, Amber Alert EU throughout all of Europe, and the Child Rescue Alert in other parts of the world. And you have been watching the Amber News Network. Hey, a preacher's kid. Hey. And we're out on IGTV. And we're out on Instagram. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Periscope, brother. Out. And we're out on Facebook. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're out on YouTube.